Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. Now, if you watched yesterday's TNC podcast, you would have seen that I said this. We don't want a player here who's going, I wish I was at Celtic. But I think he's a professional.
Yeah,
I think if he stays here and the price isn't right, he will stay and do a good job.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, there's things aging badly, and then there's that. I said that Adam Idah was the ultimate professional, and that if he didn't get his move to Celtic, then he certainly wouldn't kick up a fuss. How wrong I was. Norwich City are out in Austria at the moment. It looks stunning, by the way, where they are and playing some friendly matches. They drew 2-2 with Hoffenheim on Tuesday evening. Brad Hills and Johnny Rowe on the score sheet, hopefully a sign of things to come this season. But Adam Idah wasn't featuring, wasn't in the squad, and at the moment that's a strange thing because we are clearly in need of fit strikers. Josh Sargent is kind of back in action but's been involved in Copa America duties. Ashley Barnes is on crutches, so you would have thought that Adam Idah, if available, would be playing. It later turned out that Adam Idah didn't catch the flight to Austria on time. He didn't meet up with the squad when told he should have met up with should be meeting up with the squad, and he has been fined, and there's an internal investigation ongoing in terms of how to proceed with Adam Idah. Now, this kind of nonsense often comes up in pre-season or in transfer windows. I remember Lewis Grabban, I think it was away at Rotherham, not turning up to the game when he was trying to force a move through, and it's a shame that it's ended up like this with Adam Idah because, look, he's an academy graduate, has always been thought of very highly at Norwich City in terms of his ability and his talent, in terms of his kind of younger development years, and has kind of been knocking on the door the last few. He obviously had that breakout hat-trick against Preston in the FA Cup a few years ago now, and has tried to hit the ground running, has been struggling for a loan move, and then finally did get a loan move last season to Celtic. We'll get on to that. So maybe we'll be frustrated that the opportunity that he probably feels like he should have had at Norwich hasn't maybe come yet. When he has had a run in the side, injuries turned up, or Josh Sargent has really hit the ground running. So he's not really been first choice at Norwich at any point in his career. And then he does get a loan move to Celtic, and it goes incredibly well. The fans love him. He scores some massive goals, late goals, important goals, and really found his groove up there. And look, Celtic are a massive club, huge fan base, chance of European football. If you were to say that a move to Celtic would be on the cards of Adam Idah, then you would probably, or he would certainly snap your hand off for it, because at the moment the pecking order would certainly be Josh Sargent above Adam Idah here at Norwich City. That doesn't mean that he's not going to get game time. You need deep squads in the Championship. There are so many games. There will be injuries, so he will be getting game time this season if he were to stay. But clearly he wants that move to Celtic. Now, the issue comes in terms of, we pinned him down on a long contract. He signed that long contract at Norwich City. They knew that this was going to come. They rated Adam Idah. They knew that he would be snapped up by someone at some stage. And to increase that value to us, we've stuck him on a long deal, and it's going to cost a significant fee to get him out of the football club. Now, that must be really frustrating as a football player when you can see a deal that you want to happen is on the cards. You know that the club you'll be going to, you'll be loved and adored, and you like what's going on there, and maybe things aren't quite clicking yet. So you try and force a move. You try and throw your toys out the pram a little bit, which is obviously what's happened here. Johannes Hofthorpe, I must say, has handled this situation incredibly well. His post-match interview with the guys at the Pink 'Un is well worth a watch. The way that he speaks, the way that he demands respect, the way that he is clearly building a culture at Norwich is incredibly impressive, even a couple of months into his reign. And I don't think we've seen that with previous managers over the last sort of 5 years in terms of really solid man management, laying a law down but fairly, and communicating that really effectively with the press. Now, look, it's early days, and I guess this is the first stumbling block in Thorpe's tenure at Norwich City, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more of these situations that he'll have to deal with. He described being a a football manager, much like being a parent, and I much. I can sympathise with that. I suspect there are so many battles that he has to deal with on an almost daily basis. You are managing 30 often egotistical men. That is challenging, and this will be a challenge for Johannes, because there is a fine balance to be struck. You don't want a player here that doesn't want to be here and wants to be elsewhere. Equally, if we're selling Adam Idah, we have to get top dollar. Now, Celtic will probably see this, and this is the frustration for Norwich, and the frustration probably that they've got now with Adam, is they've seen that Adam's kicked thrown his toys out of the pram. Celtic now are in a really strong negotiating position, because they can go to Norwich, well, look, here's your fee, probably undercutting the value that Norwich want. You take it or you leave it. But if you leave it, you're going to have a player on your books that's unhappy and that probably won't be performing to the best of his abilities, because you know, and he knows, that he doesn't want to be here. That will be the frustration. There's still enough time in this transfer window to try and iron out a deal for Adam Idah, but it's the fact that he's forced it in this way will be bitterly disappointing to Norwich City. Well, Johannes Hofthorpe said that he's willing to forgive and try and rebuild this relationship with Adam Idah. And Johannes Hofthorpe said at the start of this job that he's taken on that he really rates Adam Idah. He likes him as a person. He thinks he's an incredibly impressive footballer, and that there's very much he is a part of his plan. So I suspect he's been left really disappointed with this move. Look, I think if I were Norwich, I'd want to keep Idah, and I think that they probably do. Obviously, Adam needs to decide on his future, and it looks as if he's already kind of set on what he wants. So it's now all up to a deal. The thing that Norwich need, if Adam goes, more than anything, is another striker. I think we probably need a couple more if Adam leaves, and we need a good price for him. I wouldn't be taking anything less than 6, 7, 8 million quid. He's young, he's talented, he's scored goals in the Championship, he's already got a lot of appearances under his belt for his age. And I said it in the podcast, you have to look at this in a sense of, if we were to sell Adam Idah for £6 million, let's say, that feels like a fair valuation of him. Who'd you go out and purchase? A striker for 6 million quid. Can you name me one? There might be one in the European leagues, and I'm sure they've got names on that list, but 6 million quid doesn't buy you much nowadays, and that would be the concern for me. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this one plays out over the coming days and weeks. I hope that a solution is found and that all parties are happy at the end of it. Celtic, just cough up the cash, pay the money, and you can have him. And if you don't, we'll be keeping him, and he'll be scoring goals in the Championship next season. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. It's a fascinating one, and we knew that this transfer window had potential to get juicy, and that's just begun. And I'm sure over the next couple of weeks there will be even more stories to cover as well. So lock yourself into TNC. Plenty more content coming your way, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.